It's always just been a grade A facility, great place for kids to play. And a lot of people don't realize that until they go out of town, and then they realize, boy, that Sunny Gym, that's a nice place to play ball.
It was the first park, and it was a premier park. No matter what they did to the other parks, Sunny Gym was the park.
63 years ago in Joplin, youth baseball was backyard, schoolyard, pickup baseball. No coaches, no umpires, no uniforms. Until a local candy store owner decided that would no longer do.
When I saw a guy down here working, I come down here to see what he's doing. It was Sunny Gym, and he was claiming he was going to start Little League Baseball in Joplin. That was 1949.
Sunny Jim and Edna Walters purchased land from the city, thereby opening a portal to baseball heaven for the kids they never had.
It started a history, I guess, that stayed with the city forever, and the park stayed forever, and the name has stayed forever.
And that's just it. From the day the park opened in 1950 through last May, the best-kept lawn on 20th Street was as stable and reliable as anything in Joplin.
When you were a little kid and you saw the lights on down here and there were games being played down here, it was the place you wanted to play. It was as close to playing in the big leagues as you could get.
You thought once you played here, you were in the pros. Like, this was where the big kids played. Like, I'd always come down to games and just felt like it was like Kauffman Stadium or something.
Thousands and thousands of kids that have come across this field. Relationships were made, friendships were made. If it was for some reason gone, the history, it would be a shame not to have it here for the kids.
The kids, the reason when the park was destroyed in the storm, it was a very temporary loss.
Tomorrow, in the second of a three-part series on Sunny Gym, we'll see how the park has bounced back with the town this past year.
Yesterday, we shared some of the history of Sunny Gym Park. Found out a little bit how much the park and Little League Baseball means to so many. Today, we see the response to a field destroyed.
All the days you'd spent, all the fun, and all of a sudden, you got a fence laying over a bleacher, you got lights laying on the ground.
You put in a lot of years somewhere, and it does hit you.
I stood there on the pitcher's mound. You look around at all the destruction of the homes and everything, but that really hit me. I'd gone through the emotions of everything else, and then standing here, you're just kind of at a loss.
Just something that's just like losing part of your life a little bit, I know how many kids' lives were molded by this ballpark, and this was more than a baseball field. This was a home to a lot of kids.
The city's going to be rebuilding. My mom's going to be rebuilding. I've got friends here at my church who's going to be rebuilding. On top of all that, we got 300 kids that play Little League Baseball in Joplin. What are we going to do for them?
It would take some days, some weeks, because of course there were higher priorities in Joplin a year ago. But while accommodations were made for Joplin South kids for the summer at hand, the future was not to be forgotten.
I kept driving by and trying not to look at the high school because I'd cry, and looking the other way and kept seeing Sunny Gym, which was just about as depressing because it's been there forever. I just kept thinking, when are they going to be able to do something?
That's when the word that's carried Little League Baseball since its inception stood tall.
From day one, 1950, all the way up to now, it's just a lot of volunteers out here working.
From working in the concession stand to umpiring to working on the field.
It's kind of synonymous with what's taking place in Joplin. When you look at it, I mean, this whole town's being rebuilt on a volunteer basis. I don't know if you'd see that anywhere else in the country, really. I mean, I think it's the way that Joplin is.
The volunteers are doing it for one reason. That's the kids.
Thousands of volunteers, hundreds of thousands of dollars would come. Operation Blessing rebuilt the outfield wall. The Webb City Elks have spent weeks on the concession stand. Dusty Smith and Smith Construction literally gave up the key to their yard. Large donations from Mike and Kim Davis at Davis Construction, as well as Troy Richards at Joplin Building Materials.
My son actually grew up in the Joplin South Little League from T-ball all the way up to Sunny Gym Park. We spent many a night sitting on those benches watching him play. And my wife and I felt it was something we needed to give back to the community and to Joplin South Little League.
I just wanted him to have his ball field this year to play on, and all the other boys, and it to be there like it's always been. It's supposed to be there.
It is. The work isn't near finished, but 2.5 weeks after opening ceremonies officially welcome the kids back, the future of Sunny Gym Park shines brighter than ever. As they continue to rebuild, you can help the Sunny Gym Disaster Relief Fund, Facebook page Joplin South Little League.
In parts 1 and 2 of our 3-part story on Sunny Jim Park, we learned about the history and rebuilding of the legendary field. Today, in the final installment, Action 12's Nick King tells us about what the future might hold.
We're teaching them to be young men and young women at a delicate age in their life. Some kids don't have role models to look up to. We're people that have confidence in them and help them become successful members of society.
In a world of travel baseball, video games, and big screen TVs, fewer and fewer kids seem to be experiencing the magic of Little League Baseball. And if you talk to anyone from Sunny Jim Park's illustrious history, from an outlook of player, parent, or both, it's a highly unfortunate trend.
To me, it's just about as important as having schools. You know, it's something for kids to do, keep them out of trouble, and a place where they can go and have fun and get some good training on how to be a good person and a good baseball player.
They developed relationships. They developed responsibility. It taught them team interaction.
It's just something that, I mean, playing catch before the game with your dad, that's just something that every kid should experience.
It taught me how to love a game of baseball for life. You know, that this ballpark, of course with my dad and now my son, there's no generation gaps. It's just, we have a common bond.
You can't be without Little League. That can't happen, you know, in our lifetime. That's just something that is part of being an American.
All you need to know is represented in groundskeeper Dave Mitchell, who's worked on the field daily for more than 30 years and a quarter-century since his kids moved on.
Every level of player can play Little League Baseball. There's a home for them, and there's an opportunity for them to be part of a team. And it may be the only opportunity they've ever had.
I cried the first time that I coached my oldest son on this field, and I get a feeling I'll cry whenever my youngest son is done playing on this field. It's part of growing up in Joplin, really.
The defining line on Little League and Sunny Jim. Part of growing up in Joplin, really.